And let's bring in ABC News national security and defense analyst Mick Mulroy for more. Hi, Mick. So the president called this a wonderful gesture of mutual respect, Machado giving him the medal. What do you make of that language, mutual respect, given he recently said she didn't have enough respect in Venezuela to govern it?
So, Diane, on the last point, I think it's clear that Machado does have the respect and support in Venezuela to govern it. She leads the opposition. In 2024, the opposition handily won the election. It was simply stolen by Maduro, and that's one of the reasons why the U.S. Used to apprehend Maduro. He was an illegitimate president. He essentially wasn't the president. If she runs again, of course, we'll have to see. I'm not a political analyst, but if you look at what's happened since the time that her opposition force won handily, she's won the Nobel Peace Prize. She's become an international symbol of freedom. I would imagine her support in Venezuela has only grown. So if there is a free and fair election in Venezuela, she would likely, in my estimation, be the next president of Venezuela.
Now, after the meeting, Trump called Machado a wonderful woman and said it was a great honor to meet her. But on Wednesday, he said he had a great conversation with Maduro loyalist and interim Venezuelan president, Delcy Rodriguez, and he called her a terrific person. So what do you think this means for who he'll support?
So Delcy Rodriguez, of course, is as illegitimate as Maduro was. She was his vice president, and the entire regime was not elected and stayed in power by force. Now, of course, she's going to capitulate to what the United States wants because she realizes that's the only thing essentially keeping her in power. So I don't know her personally, so I'm not going to comment on her as a person. But I don't think anything she's done in her career up to date would indicate anything other than she would stay in power by force, and she understands the United States is key to that.
We've also just learned from a U.S. official that CIA Director John Ratcliffe met with Rodriguez in Venezuela yesterday. What does that tell you?
So one thing, and the administration has pointed this out, is there is a practical reason for dealing with the current remnants of the regime in Venezuela. You simply can't substitute with Maria Machado. That has to be a transition. So I understand, of course, why there needs to be dialogue between the United States and the remnants of this regime. And those kind of sensitive type negotiations, like with Hamas under the Biden administration and Director Burns, are usually done by the CIA. So Director Radcliffe going there is totally understandable. That would be the key interlocutor until there is a normalization of relationships. And then, of course, it would be the Secretary of State.
And Mick, Machado is set to hold a press conference in a couple of hours. What are you watching for there?
Really trying to see if there was a discussion yesterday in the White House about how the transition would happen. When if there even a tentative timeline for when elections could be held, and that she, of course, could stand for them, and then let the people of Venezuela decide. Ultimately, having a democratic Venezuela is what's best, not only for the people of Venezuela, of course, but also for the United States and the Western Hemisphere. It stabilizes. They're much more inclined to work with the United States, much less inclined to work with our adversaries like China, Russia, and Iran. That is what's best for all involved.
All right, Mick Mulroy, always great to have your analysis. Thank you.